The first time I watched Daria, the series, was around 2018. I was looking for some series to watch, and at that moment, I weirdly remember watching small Daria clips off of YouTube throughout the years, and then boom, the synapses started connecting in my brain and said, "Oh yeah, I guess I could watch Daria." And then I did. To the uninformed, Daria is an animated sitcom that ran from 1997 to 2002, the latter being the year when the series' second and last movie released, which is what we're going to talk about today. You see, back when I watched Daria in 2018, I was in high school and were only a few years shy from actually getting into college. I got to relate to its high school setting because, well, I was literally there in the trenches trying to survive it in the first place. And as with that sentiment, the most gripping feeling I felt when I was watching the series was from its last movie, Daria Is It College Yet? Transitioning to college, or at least trying to, is probably something that's universally relatable to a lot of people. It definitely was for me, and this movie perfectly encapsulates the struggle one goes through at that stage. At some point, it makes you feel ambivalent in a sense that you'd kind of miss how terrible high school went, especially when you've made close friends because of that condition, like Daria and Jane. Speaking of these two characters, let's delve deep into their storyline in the movie to see why I, and others, keep coming back to watch it again. Daria's storyline in this movie was mainly about her prospects in terms of her choice regarding what college to go to. While Daria is smart, the dilemma that the movie tried to present us is how that characteristic may not be enough, especially when you're up against privilege and social class. In her case, someone with more privilege than her, like Tom Sloan, her partner. Add to that the misinterpreted expectation from Ellen that Daria needs to get to Bromwell because it's the elite school, which, as we saw from their conversation, was only a misunderstanding that was surprisingly fast to be cleared up. Honestly, if I was Daria, that would have been my villain backstory. But I digress. The struggle of being expected to get into a good college seems like a very middle class problem, because it definitely is. But that middle class problem, it's hard, especially when you're a person that's already performing at their highest capabilities, and is only stunted by something they have no control over. But, just like when Helen said,
Daria, you're destined for great things no matter where you go to school.
it shows us the message that greatness is achievable by anyone, regardless of whether they get into Bromwell as colleges or not. Which, for the teens who are watching this movie, like me, that message is certainly something that would be kept close in their hearts. While Daria is certain that she's pursuing college, Jane's storyline makes it a point to question whether going to college as a creative was even worth it in the first place. The movie shows her trying to scramble up art pieces for her portfolio until she was convinced by her brother to not pursue college altogether because she was already rejected by the colleges she applied for. Oh, spoiler alert, she goes to college in the end because Daria convinces her to submit a portfolio in the last minute. And surprise, they're both in Boston in the colleges they wanted to be in. Now, I may be going into controversial territory for what I'm about to say next. But in my opinion, I think it would have been a stronger message for Jane to not go to college. Trent already gave her a convincing argument about it, and some specific episodes show that Jane is already a talented artist on her own. Plus, with the whole movie talking about economic privileges and how it can severely influence your opportunities, it would have been great for Jane to be the character that subverts the quote unquote "we're all going to college" trope and simultaneously be framed like it's not a bad thing. And yes, we're looking at you, Kevin. Though Kevin's an exception since he didn't choose for that to happen. Also, we'll talk more about them later. In any case, I can see why they opted for both Daria and Jane to get into college. Sometimes the true reward of a higher education is the friends we made along the way. So, here's my quick thoughts surrounding Jodie and Quinn. Jodie, in my opinion, is another character other than Daria and Jane that I find pretty compelling. While her storyline in this movie is technically about her race and how she feels as an underrepresented minority in her school, it's also about her parents and how they care more about her academic achievements and prospects more than her actual feelings. Though to be fair, she is from a rich family, and she's probably used that privilege more than once, as seen on one of the episodes in the series.
Andrew Landon?
Oh, the folding coffee cup guy?
So it's fair to say that she's in on it too, but even then, we as an audience are put in a position where we kinda want to feel sympathy for her. It really is a testament to how well her character is written. Hopefully, that reboot can manage to capture the good parts of it. Oh, Gwen, the queen herself. Like her or not, there's no denying that she's definitely an iconic character in the series. We've slowly seen her develop through her superficiality and slowly realized that she has a lot more in common with Daria than she thinks, especially in that one scene where both of them actually learn from each other. Daria got comfort from Quinn, and Quinn took advice from Daria. It was nice to see that in one of their lowest moments, they can rely on each other for situations like this. Not to mention the fact that Quinn is genuinely caring for others, as seen with her whole storyline in this movie. It really is a good conclusion for her whole character arc in this movie. Okay, one more thing. I guess I have to talk about Kevin and Brittany. With Kevin, I don't really see anything that can redeem him, though I guess that's the point. With Brittany, on the other hand, I feel like she has her moments here and there in the series, but her good moment in this movie is the fact that she'll finally be getting away from Kevin. To which I say, good for her. Now that I've talked my ass off about almost all the main characters in this series, I can come to a verdict that Daria, in general, is good. It delivers a satirical commentary about our sick sad world, or just America, and how hard it is to socially live a life when you're the odd one out of the bunch. Maybe it's because I'm a queer person that I can relate to Daria's whole being othered experience, with all the homophobic and transphobic rhetoric that's surprisingly still present in 2022. In any case, I can see past the movie's issues because it's more than just the Daria show and her silly antics. It's a sincere work of art that hopes to sympathize with the outsiders and weirdos alike, ensuring them that it will get better, no matter how cliched that message could be. Daria is at college yet feels like a love letter you'd give to your pre-college self to convince them that it's gonna be better than the shithole of an experience that high school was. Because more often than not, it probably will be. At least, that's what I think. For someone like me who has watched this movie more than 5 times, before and after college, all the memories and feelings that were attached to it just suddenly jumps at you and remember, in a good way, how naive your past self was. I'm sure not a lot of people are going to experience the same nostalgic feeling. I'm doing an air quote right now. But it's not too late to give this movie, or even the whole series, a try, especially with the whole Jodie reboot in the horizon. And I'm sure you'll get something from it too, the same way that I did. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. I know, it's a doozy, but do let me know what you think about this movie or if you have any gripes with what I have to say for today. I'm sure that I'm not the only one that was positively affected by this series as a whole, so comment down below your heartfelt sentiments with the series as a whole, too. Full disclosure, I am a snoob, so I'll be reading each and every one of it. Also, like and subscribe, all that jazz to let the algorithm know that you loved this video. Okay, this is getting too long. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!